The condo market is in a complete free fall with nearly 7 out of 10 condos selling below their asking price. Skyrocketing HOA fees, insane property taxes, and unhinged insurance costs are forcing many condo owners to sell at a deep discount, and buying demand has slowed to a crawl. Drop a comment below with your prediction. Will we continue to see condo prices fall, or will they rebound in 2025? Stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to talk about things to watch out for and hidden traps when it comes to buying a condo. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jason Ferrier. I'm a realtor. I'm an investor. I live in Ohio, and I really appreciate you joining us on today's video. If you can, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it. But whatever you do, comment. I want to know what you think about the condo carnage. For this video, we're going to start with an article from Redfin. Then I'm going to jump into some other companies regarding home inventory because that's important. But this article is called 68% of condos sold below list price in February, the highest share in 5 years. So more and more condos now are selling below asking price. And they say the condo market has been slowing due to surging insurance costs and HOA fees, which have priced many buyers out. It has also become more common for townhouses and single-family homes to sell below list price as buyers gain negotiating power amid rising inventory and high housing costs. So what they're pointing out is that with more inventory of basically everything, townhomes, single-family homes, and condos, buyers have more choices. More choices equals lower prices generally. Because of that, there's a lot more room to negotiate on all types of homes, including condos. And you can see if we look here at inventory of homes for sale, this is all homes together, we had 1.2 million homes for sale back in March of 2017. Then in March of 2018, we had 1.1 million. But then we dropped all the way down to 354,000 homes for sale in the US. That's it. Only 354,000. That was in March of 2022. Then we steadily built inventory over the last couple years. Now we have 892,000 approximately homes for sale in the US. And comment below, are you seeing more homes in your area for sale? I know I am. Now they're showing us the trend of what share of condos actually sold below the original asking price. Remember, it's the original asking price, not the final asking price. So if I, for instance, put my condo on the market at $100,000 and I discount it by $10,000 the first month I have it on the market, and then in the second month I discount it by another $10,000, I've discounted it by 20% off the original asking price. And so if somebody comes in and gives me 80 grand for that condo, that means it's sold for 20% under the original asking price, not the current asking price. Big difference. So this red line represents condos, the blue line represents single family homes, and the gray line represents townhomes. Kind of interesting information. So you can see way back in 2012, condos overall, 74.9% of all condos were actually selling below asking price, the original asking price. And it kind of went sideways, although trended down somewhat, down to 61.9%. That looks like may have been the low before COVID, but then COVID hit, and look at this. It went all the way down to 33.2, meaning only a third basically of all condos that were selling were getting a discount off of the original asking price. And then when interest rates went up and inventory exploded in 2022, that number changed drastically and then went up to 67% of all condos selling below the original asking price. And then it kind of whipsawed up and down, but steadily increased to now 68%. So that trend is increasing, even though we're really not back to pre-pandemic levels when it comes to the discounts folks are getting on condos. And if you look at the other home categories, it's kind of a similar trend. I mean, right now you've got 64% of single family homes selling below the original asking price, and you've got 59% of townhomes selling below the original asking price. So the article continues with, the share of townhomes selling for below their original asking price also hit the highest February level in 5 years, rising to 59.4% from 54.7% a year earlier. But that's smaller than the uptick for condos. The share of single-family homes selling for less than list price hit the highest February level in 2 years to 64.2% from 61.2% a year earlier, also smaller than the uptick in condos. So what that really means is people are getting better deals on condos than they are townhomes and single-family houses. Across all property types, the share of homes selling for less than their original price has been returning to pre-pandemic norms. But condos are closest to reaching that benchmark. The share of condos that sold for less than list price in February was just 3.5 percentage points below February 2019 levels, while single-family homes and townhomes were short a respective 4.1 and 4.9 percentage points. Again, it just means that right now, the deceleration of home prices is the most with condos and the least with single-family homes and townhomes. So a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between a townhome and a condo? Well, with a townhome, you own the land it sits on. You also own the structure of the building. But with a condo, you own a unit that's attached to other units, and you don't own the structure and you don't own the land that it's attached to. That's the difference. And it's not surprising. People generally want their own space. They want to own their own land. They want to own their own building. So townhomes probably do better along with single-family houses because most people want control of that. In some aspects, a condo is just an apartment you own. The housing market has been cooling as inventory has climbed and elevated prices and mortgage rates have dampened demand. This has given buyers who are in the market for more bargaining power, often allowing them to negotiate a lower price. Redfin agents say the condo market has been slowing especially quickly, particularly in Florida, as rising insurance costs and new safety regulations cause HOA fees to soar. Not only is it becoming more common for condos to sell for below their list price, condo sellers are also seeing a bigger gap between the sale and list price than they were in the past. The typical condo that sold in February had a sale to original list price ratio of 95.4%, meaning it sold for 4.6% less than the original owner listed it for. That's down from a ratio of 96.4% a year earlier and nearly 100% 3 years earlier. And they're right. According to weekly Redfin housing market data, you can see here that overall homes in the US, this is all homes, not just condos, are now selling about 98.6% of the asking price, of the current asking price. But back a few years ago, that was a lot higher of a percentage. Last year, it was about 99%. And in 2022, it was over 100%, meaning back in 2022, and everybody knows this, people on average were paying more than the asking price for homes. So when you were out looking at homes, you were probably more than likely going to pay more than the asking price if you actually wanted that home. Times have changed. Many people have been priced out of the condo market, which was once seen as the affordable way to break into home ownership. However, I'm going to talk about why the condo market is sometimes not priced better than a single family house. The Florida condo market is in uncharted territory, said Tim Harper, a Redfin premier agent in Orlando metro area, where 84.8% of condos that sold in February went for less than their original asking price. We're seeing a massive influx of condo inventory because a lot of senior citizens on fixed incomes can no longer afford their monthly payments, and a lot of other condo owners just want to move because they're tired of dealing with rising HOA fees and special assessments. So comment below, do you live in an area or a subdivision with an HOA? I remember back when I bought my first home, it wasn't a condo, but it was in an HOA. And the HOA board always sent me letters about my trash cans. I was young, defiant. I didn't like where my trash can was supposed to go. I wanted it in the back. They said it had to go on the side. They kept sending me letters. I didn't like that. I decided, you know what? I'm going to find a house with no HOA and I can do whatever the heck I want. But it's important to know HOA fees can be insane and they can go up without warning and really without approval. If there are increased costs to that condo association or that homeowners association, you can better believe they're going to pass those costs on to the owners of the condos. And those increased costs eat at your bottom line, especially if you're on fixed income. Condo listings in Orlando jumped 30.7% year over year in February, double the 15% increase nationwide. And the typical condo that sold there had a sale to original list price ratio of 90.8% compared to 94% a year earlier. That means it's sold for nearly 10% less than its original asking price. Other condo markets are softening too. In Denver, 77.2% of all condos sold for less than their original list price in February, up 17.2 percentage points from a year earlier, the biggest increase among the metros Redfin analyzed. It was followed by Virginia Beach, Virginia at 16.2 percentage points and Charlotte, North Carolina at 15.3 percentage points. So if you're in one of these metros that they're mentioning here, Denver, Virginia Beach, Orlando, Charlotte, they also talk about Sacramento here in a minute. I would definitely, if you're looking for a condo, you may be able to find a great deal. I would make a lot of disrespectful offers. Oh, condos, poor condos, said Sacramento, California, Redfin premier agent Allison Williams. HOA dues are just going up and up and up, primarily because insurance costs for homeowners associations are going up. When you buy a $400,000 condo, it often means paying a $500 monthly HOA fee. So for many people, it's not really that affordable anymore. Some buyers are looking to small single-family homes instead because there's no HOA. That's not 100% true. Most subdivisions have an HOA. They're usually not like condo HOA fees. They're more like, $200-300 a year, $500 a year, not $500 a month. It's important to know with the HOA fee, it's really just expenses. You can't write it off. It doesn't go towards your equity. There's really no benefit from it. Really, it's just an expense you have to pay every month. It's a sunken cost. But it's not all doom and gloom for the condo market, said Redfin's senior economist Assad Khan. The good news is, if you're a prospective condo buyer, sale prices are now falling in some areas and sellers are offering up concessions, meaning you might be able to get a good deal. I'd say you better get a good deal if you're buying a condo right now. If you've been priced out of owning a condo, know that rents are hovering below their pandemic highs thanks to an apartment building boom. So renters may also find success asking for concessions. It's odd how they combine the rental thing and then the condos. So I don't know why they did that. But in any case, if you're a seller, Redfin agents strongly recommend pricing your condo fairly from the get-go so that you find a buyer quickly. If your condo ends up sitting on the market, it can scare buyers off. And that's absolutely right. I don't care if you're selling a condo, a townhome, a duplex, a single-family home, or what. You need to price that thing accurately now. You can't price it too high. If you try to get too aggressive out of the jump, it will sit longer. As a realtor in Central Ohio, I list homes all the time. I help sellers set prices. It's not an easy task. A lot of people think, agents don't really do much. Realtors don't do that much. I can tell you, pricing a home is tricky. If you don't price it right, you will suffer. So now they show us a table of where condos are being sold at the biggest discounts and what share of condos per metro are being sold below asking price or the original asking price. So where are the biggest discounts happening? Well, check this out. Miami, Florida, 92.5% of all condos sold below original list price. Wow. And you can see here, 91.3% on average is what buyers are paying for condos in Miami, Florida, meaning buyers on average are getting about an 8.7% discount. A lot of Florida metros on here. Look at this. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Cape Coral, Jacksonville, Northport, Tampa. I mean, the Florida condo market right now is not good. Not good at all if you're a seller or if you're hoping to cash in a bunch of equity. But if you're a buyer, maybe your time. Let's look at where the share of sold below original list is the worst. Wow, look at this. Hartford, Connecticut, only 35% of condos are selling below original list price. And look at the original list price ratio, 100%, meaning sellers are getting what they want on average. Surprising to see San Jose in here. That's a pretty tight market with the condo as well. Selling over asking price. Look at that, 100.4%. So it looks like San Jose leads the nation with average sale to original list price ratio over 100%. Then you got San Francisco, Hartford, Connecticut, Bridgeport, Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, Oakland, California. So it's like the Bay Area is like the top dog when it comes to average sale to original list price ratio. And then you've got the Northeast with Hartford, Bridgeport, New Haven, Connecticut, like they're all in Connecticut. It's crazy. Probably because there's no inventory up there. So people are like, man, I got to find something. I guess I'll buy a condo. So where are people getting the biggest discounts on condos? Average sale to original list price ratio, 87.7%. West Palm Beach, Florida. Meaning if you're buying a condo in West Palm Beach, you're paying like, look at that, 13% under asking price, under the original asking price. And that's a pretty big discount. Then Fort Lauderdale, Cape Coral, Florida, usual suspects. Where are condos the most expensive? Let's find out. $995,000, no surprise, San Fran, then San Jose, then Anaheim, California. Where are they the least expensive? Cleveland, Ohio. Not surprised there either. 184,000, 185. So in Cleveland, looks like you want to buy a condo, get a pretty good deal probably. They're all selling for under original asking price, and 67% of them are selling below the original list price. So it's a good thing. If you're looking for a condo, move to Ohio. Cincinnati made the list too. A lot of Midwestern towns here. Not surprising on the best deal category. The link for this article is in the description below. You can go here, check out your area if you live in one of these markets, and let me know. Does this reflect what you're seeing in the condo market? Okay, so what does all this mean for buyers and sellers, heck, maybe even investors of condos? Well, if you're a prospective condo buyer, this current market represents a potential opportunity to get a deal. In some areas, prices are falling and sellers are willing to negotiate and give concessions. But as a buyer or an investor, there are a few things you got to watch out for. The first thing is HOA fees. Make sure you understand HOA dues and the special assessments that are current or pending for the development. Because a lot of times if there's a big repair that's needed for the complex, they take that cost and divide it between the current owners. For instance, I have a good buddy, lives in a condo, needed the parking lot repaved. They repaved the whole parking lot, fixed some sidewalks. He gets a bill in the mail for $2,500. There's no option to not pay it. You pay or you get foreclosed on. One of the things you can do when you buy a condo is during the contract process, you should have a due diligence period to review any HOA docs or rules and their budget, because you want to understand, are they funded well or are they underfunded? If you move into a condo complex that's drastically underfunded and then a storm comes through and rips a roof off, guess what? You're going to be on the hook for a lot of those repairs, unfortunately. So make sure you look at the budget and look at the rules. Understand what they do allow and don't allow, especially when it comes to rentals. If you're an investor and you think, I'm buying that condo because it's a great deal, you need to watch the HOA fees because that can destroy your cash flow. But you also need to review the HOA docs and pending rules that they're going to put in place, because they may have a ban on rentals in that complex, or they may have a proposed ban on rentals. Some complexes and associations allow rentals, some don't. Some allow a few of their condos to be rentals, and some allow none. So make sure you understand that before you sign the deal and close on the condo. When you're looking at those HOA fees, keep in mind, you can't write those off. So it's important to weigh the cost, the total cost of the condo and the total cost of like a single family home, if that's something you want to look at as well, and compare them. A lot of times I'll take buyers, entry-level first-time home buyers to condos because they look at the price and go, hey, that's only 150 grand here locally. I can buy that, no problem. But then they see the condo fee that's $500 a month. You add that into your monthly expenses, and that's no longer affordable. And obviously, based on what we've seen today, you should definitely negotiate and make a disrespectful offer on a condo if you want to buy one. So unless you're in a super tight market like the Bay Area or Connecticut, you can probably get a deal. Don't pay asking price, because most people aren't right now. As a seller, make sure you price that condo correctly. You also want to highlight any community special features like a pool, a gym, maybe they have walking trails or playgrounds, who knows? But make sure you feature those in the listing. You also want to be completely transparent about the HOA fee and any upcoming assessments that you know about, because the buyer is more than likely going to find out about those anyway. Hopefully they do. And during the contract process, so you don't want to hide them, because if you get 10 steps down the road with a buyer, but you haven't disclosed everything, number one, it's your legal obligation to do so. But number two, you may just be wasting your time. Then you have to put the condo back on the market. You don't want to do that. So now we know there's a huge supply of condos, and in general, the prices on them are coming down. Buyers are getting better deals. HOA fees, insurance premiums, and certainly taxes are really biting into the monthly budgets of all buyers, including condo buyers. And so as we continue through 2025, I would expect we see more of that. But the question is this condo crisis really a crisis, or do you view it as an opportunity? Comment below, I'd like to know. For more insights on the broader housing market, you should check out my latest Redfin video. I often do these updates live every Thursday or every Friday, so check the latest one out right here.